What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Control the Narrative, a basketball podcast where we control the narrative around misunderstood players, teams, and situations. I'm your host, Steve Sakinikas. We got my guy Reggie on tonight. Looking forward to this episode. And Reggie, how's it going, bro?
Yo, it was good. I'm chilling out here in KC from St. Louis. I'm doing good tonight, man. Ready to talk mellow and basketball.
Let's go, bro. He's got that Oak Hill jersey on. Yo, he's fucking he's ready for
high
this.
school, baby. Number 22, okay.
Word. All right. So Rich, you got that high school jersey on, so you've obviously been a fan of Melo for a minute. So why don't you just tell us about like how you started liking Melo, who's your favorite team, how'd you start liking them, and shit like that.
Yeah, it started way back when he was in college, and I didn't know who this kid was. I actually started following college back when TJ Ford was a freshman in Texas, and that was my team right there. I was following TJ Ford. He just reminded me of Iverson he just needed to develop a shot, but he was just, he couldn't even really shoot, but he was still getting buckets on people. So, that next year, that was my guy. I was always with him. I was like, we going all the way this year. And here comes this young guy out of nowhere just putting buckets on my team. I'm like, who is this guy? And I stay in Kansas. I've been here for the last 18, 19 years or whatnot. So if I wasn't rooting for Texas, I was rooting for KU. And then in that next round, he comes through and he just put on the show. I'm like, man, who is this kid? And I've just been a fan ever since. I just, love Melo game or whatever. It's just like everything that coaches really try to teach students and stuff. He ain't all extra flashy and stuff, but he don't do a lot of dribbles and stuff. He might take a few extra jab steps, but he does everything like he's fundamentally sound. And it's like as far as getting buckets and on the offensive end. And so I've been following him ever since, his Syracuse day, and did a lot of studying and research up on him and whatnot. LeBron had that big hype when he was coming in or whatever, and it's just like, man, I don't know. He's don't get me wrong, he's big as hell, he's athletic, he's very gifted, but his skills don't compare to this young man. This young guy, he's got it all. He's coming straight into the league and it's going to be a problem for him, and that's exactly what he's been doing. And favorite team, really wherever Melo usually is my favorite team. I'm not gonna lie, I'm more of a player type of fan. I usually follow players. T-Mac, he was a big person that I followed. I hate to say this, but Reggie Miller, I loved him.
I saw that shit on Twitter. You fucking tweeting out that gift.
But it's just like you can't deny his talent because, if you look at him, he was all frail and stuff, but his skills, he's basically, what Steph Curry doing right now. He just had all the skills to make it into the league. He wasn't as athletic as everybody else, and he still made it work. Even to a certain extent, even with Melo. Melo ain't always been the, most athletic person. He was more of a chunky guy. That was another thing about him. It's like, who is this chunky kid out here putting in work? And, and even some of that is, to his detriment because people want to look at him and stuff, whatever, and always say he's never in shape or nothing. But it's like, okay, for him to not be in shape, he's sure busting ass out here.
Yeah.
For him to be like that, and it's like you don't always got to be the most in shape. Charles Barkley wasn't really that much in shape. Zach Randolph, he was doing business with people. Boogie, maybe that was Boogie's downfall because he started losing weight. And
now he's fucking getting hurt every 2
left
months.
and right.
He should have stayed chunky, huh?
Yeah, so I don't know, but in any case, I'm more of a I usually follow players. There's a bunch of players that I like. I usually like just fundamentally sound players. Athletic players, they cool or whatnot, but it's just like that was like a God-given talent. It was just like not everybody can be as big and athletic as LeBron is. I just use him for an example. Not everybody can be as quick as Iverson or D Wade was or whatnot. You get certain people that come into the league that don't have all this God-given athletic ability and size and stuff, and still are able to make a way just from knowing basketball. And that's what I really love about Melo. Could he have done a few things with his game throughout the years? Yeah, but I mean, who could? It's a lot of stuff that people's favorite player, LeBron James. It's a lot of stuff that he could have been doing. He's just now really kind of developing like any type of post game. And he's just now really kind of getting confident with his shot. Melo always did that stuff, but this ain't about him. I'm gonna get done talking about it. This is Melo hour. So it's just the way he carried Denver, the way he carried New York for so long, and he was I think was so close when he had Porzingis, and it's due to injury and to me personally, coaching. They should have never got rid of Woodson, in my opinion.
Bro.
I mean, out of all the coaches that they've had since Melo been there, he's done the best, and it's like everybody left that year. They made it to the playoffs. It's like you got people retiring, people injured, people getting hurt, and it's like y'all basically starting over with Melo and trying to build off of that. And so he really just got a bad rap from the coaches that he had with him. And to me personally, if you're gonna be a good coach, you're gonna work with the talent that you got around you. I don't think they ever built a team around Carmelo. It's like they got some good pieces, and it's like everybody play our part and we can do right. Like everywhere LeBron went after he left Cleveland the first time, they built a team around him to support him. So
yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. That's one of my questions. But all right, so let me ask you this: you said you like players, and you're not really into the teams as much you are the players. When Melo was in Denver and when Melo was in New York, which team or franchise did you love more? Like which team were you just like, yo, let's fucking go Nuggets, or were you just like, yo, the fucking Knicks? Like which team did you feel more passion towards?
That's a hard one because it all started in Denver, and he brought Denver to me back to life. Like you didn't, not too many people paid attention to Denver. Melo came, that was must-see TV, and he made it this far with Denver, and with a good nucleus right there with Chauncey Billups and Kenyon Martin and J.R. Smith and all, and they were tough that year to me. And it's like, him fighting every year in the Western Conference. I loved Nick, when he was with the Knicks and everything too, but it's just everything else that was around it. I just felt like they did a little bit more in Denver for Melo than he did when he was in New York. He got a lot of criticism.
Right.
A lot of people got put around him or whatnot that just wasn't the best for him. Like, we all thought that it was, hey, this was going to be it when Phil got there. And we was all completely wrong.
Yo, they made the playoffs every year before him with Melo, and then from the second he came, they haven't made the playoffs since. And I say all the time, that's not a coincidence.
Right. It almost felt like that he was trying to sabotage with me. And it's like, it's crazy because it's like, I'm thinking that he gonna know exactly what to do with Melo because he dealt with Michael Jordan, He dealt with Kobe Bryant, you dealt with ball dominant superstars who can get you there. They just need certain pieces. I mean, if you take what Kobe did after Shaq left, I mean, I'm sorry, Shaq is a lot of help, but what he did after Shaq left with Paul Gasol and Lamar Odom, not they any slouches, but that's more of a fair assessment of taking a superstar or ideal assessment of what you do with a superstar. Get you a superstar, get you some nice contributing pieces and stuff, whatever, and this is what you can get. You don't always have to have a big three or nothing or whatever like that. You can really have like a superstar and get them with some decent talent around them, and then make a run for it. So when Phil came, I thought that was gonna happen. He tried to force feed everybody with that triangle. The triangle looks good when you got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaq, Kobe.
Exactly.
Show me how that works with the Charlotte Hornet now. Show me how that works there.
Or even with the Knicks, bro. When you have Jose Calderon and Samuel Dalembert starting, what do you expect?
Yeah, this is come on. It's like, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't think he ever had outside of Chauncey Billups and Jason Kidd, a solid point guard. he never really had no Robin like that. I mean, JR is like Ginobili to me. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody forget how Ginobili was in the beginning. Everybody was screaming and pulling their hair, yelling out Ginobili because of the plays that he was making.
Yeah.
But then it's like you turn around, he's like, I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's who JR is. But you know the difference in that is Coach Pop.
Yep.
He was able to handle that. I think Coach Woodson did a good job with it. Outside of that, I don't see anybody that was able to reel JR in like that and put him in position to be successful. So,
Yeah, I mean, JR was still like being JR with partying with Rihanna the night before playoff games and tweeting out half-naked pictures of girls and shit like that. But like,
yeah.
for the most part, like he respected Woodson. He listened to him. I remember there was a streak in that season, 2012, 2013, where like JR wasn't hitting his shots and shit like that, and Woodson kept telling him like, "Yo, you have to drive, like drive, drive, drive." And he kept doing that, and he like got his season back on track, and he ended up winning Sixth Man of the Year. And yeah, man, I feel like a dude like Woodson, they gave up on him so quickly, and that like next year after that season, man, that was rough, and they fired him mid-season, I'm pretty sure. Or did they?
Right.
No, they played it out, and then Phil kind of took over in that summer. But yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was great coaching right there. Because if you look at the type of player JR is, you know, you don't understand why he shoots so many jumps.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you one of the more athletic players in the league. Use it.
Exactly.
I mean, but it's JR. It's just like Ginobili and another person that fits in that mode to me. And it's just like, okay, another person that fits in that mode to me is Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's the same type of player. And it's just like, I don't see how. That's just like when Melo was at the Knicks. If you let JR run in the point, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
That's what happened. I'm sorry. That's what happened in OKC. He's a great player. He's fun to watch. He's explosive. But it's like, you don't make the smartest decisions either.
Yep.
So,
So you like the Nuggets more than the Knicks?
yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Nuggets.
That was a long way of saying Denver over New York.
Yeah, with that. I know how you feel about your Knicks, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the organization. They've had a lot of great players and stuff there, and they always just came just short or whatnot. But it's a lot of times I feel like New York sometimes do what LA do when it comes to the organization. They bring in big names and stuff, just to keep it popping and stuff, whatever. And it's like, it may not necessarily make the best sense and stuff, whatever. It's like, because it's a big name. Penny Hardaway was there before. Tracy McGrady was there before. Stephon Marbury. They had a lot of big stars there, but it's like, was it really the right fit, or did I really try to put anything around them and make anything happen, or was it just we just need a big name in New York?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's it's a great market and everything, but I really think that they're gonna have to start championing their stars and stuff. Because whenever you think of LA, you think of Shaq, you think of Kobe, you think of Magic, you think of the organization do things to make these players immortal. And it's like you got stars that come to the Knicks after the 70s, and it's like they great in New York. No one else wants to give them their respect because they weren't able to make it to the ultimate goal. So
Exactly.
the organization got a lot of work to do as far as just like taking their stars and building around them and building them up, because that was a great loss when they lost Porzingis. I tried to stay a Knicks fan. They got rid of Porzingis. Like, I'm done. I'm follow Melo. Where's Melo?
Then you went to the Rockets for 10 games, and now you're a free agent again.
Yeah, I'm on boycott. I'm boycott. It makes no sense. There's no point to watching basketball, and it's gonna be exciting this year. But I won't until I see Melo on the team. Yeah. To me, it's like no point. It's like you got all these guys up there, and I'm sorry, my guys still bust their ass. Kawhi Leonard, who was the Finals MVP, you go ask him who his favorite player was.
Exactly, and who he styled his game after.
Exactly, and who. Man.
All right, hold on. Let's get into that right now. All right, cool. So we just talked about it a little bit, but what are your kind of thoughts on what's happened to Melo over like the last year plus, just dating back to this Rockets signing and just basically him being blackballed right now, whether people want to admit it or not. What are your kind of thoughts on this whole situation for Melo?
I honestly think that to a certain extent they are trying to blackball him. I'm not exactly sure why. It could be a few different reasons. It could
Mm-hmm.
be maybe he sparked the whole thing of players speaking out more and controlling stuff. I mean, I don't know. He stepped up and run his Banana Boat brothers per se up on their own SPs to speak out on stuff or whatnot.
Right.
And I think even from that, players started speaking out on a bunch of stuff. It's concerning their career and stuff. Maybe that could be a reason why. It
Yeah.
could be because of Phil Jackson, not Daryl Morey, but Phil Jackson, Dan Tony, and what's the other coach name?
Jeff Bezdilik.
Yeah, that guy. It could be, because man, because they all very well respected in the league, and other GMs, other coaches, listen to pay attention to that stuff. And,
Right.
maybe they felt, no, that's too much of a headache for me. I don't want to deal with that. Even though you'd rather just have a continuously losing season in most of these cases and stuff, where they can use them or whatnot. But it really just don't make sense what's going on or whatever, because it's just like,
Right.
as much as people want to turn around and say that, he's not as good as this, like, I mean, I'm sorry, I believe that he's better than 400 people in this league.
100%.
Arguably, he's still one of the top 50 players in this league right now. I mean, it's like you put him on the court and you show me anybody that's going to be able to slow him down.
Yeah, people don't want to hear that, bro. Like, when you say top 50 players, like, people think they're like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's exactly it. It's that whole narrative that, like, oh, bro, he's washed. He doesn't play defense. He can't score anymore. And it's like, if you watch the game, not
Right.
look at analytics, if you watch the game, like, you'll see that this dude can score on fucking anybody. And he still has, like, a lot of game left. And it's just like that narrative that, like, oh, Melo's washed and all that shit. People just run with it and they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about or why they're talking about that.
Yeah, and an example, if you look at Giannis, he was running through the league, correct? And he
Correct.
went up against Toronto, and one man was literally able to shut him down.
Right.
Kawhi made him shoot jumpers. They was doing their thing, running through the league, and then Kawhi stepped up. Now, do you think Kawhi will be able to do that to Carmelo?
I don't think so.
Not at all. No one in the league will be able to do that to him. He got too much of a skill set.
Right.
People like Giannis and Ben Simmons to an even greater degree. It's like, yeah, they're great athletically. Where are their skills though?
Bro, you're fucking preaching right now.
It's just like, I mean, isn't the whole point to putting the ball in the basket? You mean tell me they can't do the first thing that you're supposed to learn in playing basketball?
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me. Now, you name one person in the league that could stop Carmelo Anthony from doing that.
Right.
I can name one. Daryl, whoever the coach, I can name a couple some coaches. That's who we're stopping. And that's another thing too. For people to say that he's washed because he can't come on the court and shoot spot up jumpers, put LeBron James in that spot and you tell me how well he'll do. Put Russell Westbrook in that spot. You show me how well he would do in those, but they would never put them there because they'd be putting them out of position. And that's not fair to put Carmelo in that type of position. He's never been no spot up shooter. And my thing is like and it ain't the type of thing where I don't think he can do it, but you can't get that out of 10 games.
Right.
And even in the way that they try to even set it up or whatnot. Like he said, when he was in OKC or whatever, he was the freaking fourth option. So he probably didn't know when the ball was coming this way. Only thing that I can really put on Melo is like I said, he didn't demand more earlier. And, to a certain degree, maybe he be one thing he can be great. Another thing that he can be great at is when he becomes the defense is grabbing rebounds. That's the only other thing that I can put on him. That's the only other thing that I can put on him or whatever. But it's the whole point of the game is putting the ball in the basket, and y'all call us some of the greatest players in the game. These GOATs, like I said, like y'all. Ben Simmons and Giannis have arrived, but they can't even do the most basic part of the game, and that's putting the ball in the basket. they can't
Yeah.
shoot past 15 feet. So all these people that saying this stuff is like they get no respect from me because it's like that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
You
Fact.
stand in front of Jared Dudley was able to call out Ben Simmons because he wasn't able to shoot.
Yeah.
Come on
Facts.
now. And that's another argument that's being made. It's like you can't put no Jared Dudley in front of no Carmelo Anthony. What's that Shaq say? Barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
So
For
it's
real.
just, this past year, it's just, for whatever reason, and I'm thinking that it does have something to do with the coaching and the chairman that's going around in the league. It has something to do in the front office. That's the only thing that I can believe. He's still respected by too many players. He's
All
still
of
got
them.
fans out here. Even though you got a lot of trolls and a lot of hate, most of these people that put up the stuff about Melo ain't nothing but some trolls. They do
Yeah.
that to piss. They do that to piss people like us off.
Right. It works,
And
bro.
it do. It gets up. It gets. In some cases, it gets under my skin. I was having a huge argument with a friend of mine the other day about it, and he was trying to take up for LeBron, talking about Carmelo had all this help when he was in Denver, and I wanted to punch a wall. It pissed me off. I was like, "What the freak help are you talking about that he had in either New York or Denver? You show me this great help he had that was like LeBron James,
That's
Chris
crazy.
Bosh, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love.
That's
You
crazy.
show me that help because that's the only time that he won some rings was when he was with them.
Yeah. Bro, Melo would have fucking killed to play with somebody like Kevin Love or fucking Bosh. Like, two dudes who I think were mad underappreciated, like, from LeBron fans and shit like that. Like, they don't talk about Bosh like that. The Heat don't
No.
win those fucking championships without him. He was an all-star every year in Miami. Like, he was a fucking baller for that team.
And if you ask me, out of those three, he was the clutch player.
He was the what?
He was the clutch player.
Yeah.
He was making the big plays for them when it
The
counted.
big rebound on LeBron's miss.
Right, rebounds, shots when it's like, I mean, come on, he's making the big plays.
Yeah.
He's giving y'all all the glory, and when it counts the most, he's the one stepping up.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's just like, that's another narrative how great of these stars are, and they're not even closing. Carmelo, you can't do nothing but call him a closer.
Yeah.
One of the greatest closers of all time. Give him his props. Kobe said Carmelo was the hardest to guard.
Yep.
and because a broad range of reasons. So it's I don't understand the reasoning for it. I really don't. And it's like, as a fan of Melo, I'm just kind of like him or whatnot. I just like, look, let me know if I'm gonna keep watching basketball. I'm tired of looking at the news every day to see if looking for some type of news. I wish he would reach
Bro,
out
today, like with all these extensions and shit like that,
Yeah.
with all the Woj tweets, I've had Woj notifications turned on Twitter since like June before free agency. I have finally turned it off after like 3 months. I'm like, I'm not giving up, but I'm just like, bro, I don't need to know about this dude's extension if it's not Melo. Like, get it the fuck away
Right.
from me. And I'm sure when all that shit happens, I'm gonna get like 30 fucking texts and tweets and shit like that. So I like
Yeah.
don't even need that anymore.
Right.
But-
It's like when it happens, the whole world will know this.
Yeah.
They know he got a big fan following out there, and
Yeah.
I guess my thing is even just that. It's like the following that he got. You would think that some of these just sucky teams would just bring him on. I mean, come on. What the
Right.
Hornets got to lose? What is Charlotte? Who else is I think? What is even though
Cleveland.
I don't want to go here, but what does Toronto have to lose? You just
Yeah.
lost your big star. Y'all not going to go nowhere for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all not finna, that's not going to fall in y'all lap no more. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even though I don't want to see him up there, it's just like, I mean, it's I don't know. Canada, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Kawhi was able to pull that off. But but it's I don't know. I just never expected that out of Toronto. But
Yeah.
I mean, but Orlando and stuff, whatever. I don't know what's Miami's problem. It's like I think Pat Riley would do well with it. I think he
Yeah.
would make that work. So
So we kind of talked a little bit about his career and shit like that, but do you feel like he's gotten a bad rap over the course of his career? And if so, why do you think there's been this narrative around him?
I think he got a bit of a bad rap because he's a lot like he's too much like Kobe and Jordan in the fact of that he's unstoppable offensively, and that was the rap that Jordan and Kobe got was you just being ball hogs or whatever. People just looking at him as being a ball hog or whatnot, but in his case and stuff or whatnot, it's like really what was the other option, and that's always been his role.
Right.
And I believe him when he said it, like, no one ever came to him to tell him to change up anything, or can we do this, or can we do that. It was just like he went out there and he just performed. It was like, they didn't try to mold him into anything else. I don't think that they got the most out of Carmelo. I think they expected him to bring it, and it's like he just did what he knew. And one other thing that I think is overlooked or whatnot is how willing he is to teach other people and stuff or whatnot. I mean, for a great example to me is a Blake Griffin. Like, he was just somebody that jumped out the rim. He gets on Team USA. Carmelo show him a few moves and stuff. Now he got some moves in the paint.
Remember that? Yeah.
A mid-range jumper and stuff.
Yeah.
Where's this come from? Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, so, like, yeah, and it's like it's a few people that come to him or whatnot. Who is it? Jaylen Brown that came to him before. It's just like, and he inspired
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I think even just that alone will be great to an organization, especially somebody like the Lakers. LeBron really could have used them a long time ago, in my opinion. But Kyle Kuzma, he could mold Kyle Kuzma into a killer.
Right.
Kyle Kuzma is right there. Jason Tatum is right there.
Right.
It's like it's a lot of players that he can go help. Ben Simmons could use that help.
Yeah.
Giannis could use that. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are all have it physically and athletically or whatnot, but where's the skills at? Right. He can give them. He can show them some of that. He can give them some of them moves.
Right.
So. But I mean, I don't think it's warranted. Like I said, it's unfair, and it's just like unfortunate because he never forced himself to be in a position to. And Kobe did the same thing. He's forced LA's hands too. But unfortunately, because Carmelo didn't do such a thing, and he was never able to get a ring, people gonna believe that narrative on him. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he was just a ball hog. He just threw up a lot of shots." Like. And no one no one in the future is going to look back and see otherwise, because it's plenty of great players that did some great things. And it's like when people think of Charles Barkley, they think of somebody that never won a ring.
That's all they remember.
Yeah, they just going to think of a short, chubby guy who was able to make it to the league somehow, and he never won a ring. I don't know why they compare him to any of the greats.
Yeah.
He was slighted. I mean, Magic, Bird, Jordan, they all got rings, and Charles Barkley was without one. It's like so. And
I hope they don't look at I hope they don't look at the 03 draft class like that. Like, oh, Wade got one, multiple. LeBron got a ring, Bosh got a ring, Darko got a ring. It's like our guy is the only one who just got fucked over.
I believe they are too. And the messed up part about it is, Bird got a ring with his team. Magic got a ring with his team. Jordan got a ring with his team. Bosh, LeBron, and Wade got their rings together.
Right.
It's like, come on. That didn't count. They got all their rings together. Melo didn't team up with nobody. They all had to get together to win a ring. That's not fair. So.
Yeah. Reggie, one of your tweets I saw said, Melo's biggest flaw in his career was not forcing organizations to build around him like LeBron does and did. Can you elaborate on that? Like, why do you think that was his biggest flaw, and what do you think that could have led to, maybe?
Well, I say it's one of his biggest flaws or whatnot, because he didn't put himself in position to get a championship. I mean, you think you come in, it's not like, the 80s, early 90s and stuff or whatnot, where you go to an organization and you just played with whoever around you, and they were competent enough to put good people around you.
Right.
When the Bulls was put together, Jerry, whatever his name was, I forget his name. He put a great team around Jordan. He got a great, I think, a partner. Some call him sidekick, and Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen covered up a lot of Jordan flaws and whatnot to make Jordan was like he was immortal or whatever. Same thing for the Lakers and and Magic or whatnot. The Knicks tried their best with Ewing and what they put around him. They gave it a good run, but it was it's hard to go. It was hard to go up against Scottie and Mike.
Right.
But in these days and stuff, whatever, whatnot, I think maybe even starting with, I don't know, it started with the big three from Boston when they all got old, and I was like, well, this is our last hurrah. Let's just all team up.
Yeah.
Then from there, I think it just and then it sprung off a little bit differently with Kobe and Kobe forcing New York's hand and making them. I mean, not New York, but Kobe forcing LA's hand and forcing them to put people around him and stuff, whatever. And then LeBron making the ultimate move and doing both things, leaving his whole team and convincing somebody else to come down to South Beach with him. And then he basically did the same thing when he moved up to Cleveland. And then Kevin Durant.
And then LA.
Right. And then Kevin Durant, the way he moved to Golden State. Now how he's trying to do things in Brooklyn or whatever. And then what Kawhi is doing now. It's like these people are taking their future into their own hand. And it was like, to a certain extent, Melo kind of did, but I think he just did that because he wanted to get home. He was just like, man, I want to be able to do what LeBron do and show off in my hometown. Right. I mean, if I was a star, I would want to do the same thing too.
Yeah.
It was just like he's from New York, and it's like what bigger and better place to do it than New York. And he looked up to Bernard King. He was like, man, I'm coming back home with Bernard was.
And to play with Amari, who was a star at the time.
It kind of. It wasn't Melo type of stardom, though.
No. But he was like, that season, Amari was like MVP candidate. Like, the Knicks were... Yeah. A lot of people think the Knicks would have won the championship if they didn't trade for Melo that year. Like, oh, they gave up so much. And, like, bro, they were like a 500 team. Like, people freak out. Like, that Knicks team with Amari, Felton, Gallinari, they were around 500.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, they did better than expected.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, it's like, they were a decent team, but I think they did a hell of a trade by getting rid of them people and bringing Carmelo and Chauncey Billups there. And they looked good. For them to just move there or whatnot. And if it wasn't, for Father Time catching up with Chauncey Billups and his back going out and Amari punching fire extinguishers, who knows what would have happened? Because, Melo was busting ass. He was giving it to Miami.
Yep.
So it's, I mean, that's why I say that he could have did a better job at that. He could have forced Denver hands at times or whatever, whatnot, or even the same thing with New York and stuff, whatever. Instead of taking the extension and stuff or whatnot, be like, no, I mean, if I can't get such and such here, I'm gonna play the year-to-year contract like LeBron did with Cleveland or whatever. So. I just wish that, he could have just pushed his weight around a little bit more and got, and I don't know, maybe he never really saw anybody in particular that he actually really wanted to play with like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just true throwback and was like, I can do this by myself. I don't need all that.
Yeah.
I'm good with the team that I got. We can go out here and we're going to make it happen. But when you got 3 other people that's pretty close to your level, it's going to be pretty hard to do, so.
Yeah, and like we talked about that a little bit before of like who the perfect people to surround him with was, and we were saying like a veteran point guard who's like can command an offense and shit like that. We were talking about a defensive big who can like cover some of the mistakes not even mistakes, but just like be someone in the paint, like an anchor in the paint, like Chandler was, like Birdman was for the Nuggets teams and shit like that, and. Yeah. They did that like 2 times where they really put like a complement of people around him. 08-09 where they went to the conference finals, and then 2012-2013 where they were division champs, won 54 games, went to the second round, and then just like fucking everything fell apart. But I think that was another thing. For whatever reason, like these GMs and these presidents of the Nuggets and the Knicks and all that shit, they didn't understand what to surround Melo with. And I thought it was pretty obvious just like from watching it. And, they would go out and sign guys like fucking Jose Calderon and Samuel Dalembert. And on the Nuggets, like, who would they sign that was fucking...
Andre son, I forget his name.
Who?
That Andre guy, I forget his name.
The point guard, Andre Miller?
Yeah, Andre Miller,
yeah. And he was like a pass-first point guard and shit like that, but I feel like Melo at the point guard needed somebody who, like, will command the ball and be like, yo, Melo, like, this is what we're running, and someone who he respects, like Kidd or, like, fucking Billups and shit like that.
Yeah, somebody like that, like, which is why I think Chris Paul would be, somebody perfect that's like that, or... I think Rondo, when they had a chance to get Rondo, I thought Rondo would have been great. Somebody that's going to put everybody else in their places and stuff, whatnot. It could be the type of work and go back and forth. Sometimes you come down the court, you go straight to Melo.
Right.
Sometimes you come down the court, you try to get everybody else involved and whatnot. Because the thing with Melo is he can score from anywhere. You can put him in different places. So you can come down in different sets. And they not be ready for it because he's not coming down doing the same thing over and over and over.
Right.
One time he's in the post, one time he's at the elbow, other time he's at the top of the key, other time he's in the corner.
Right.
You can run a pick and roll with the point guard and whoever else. And then if they double team or try to stop that or whatnot, guess what? Melo's one-on-one being able to ice on the other side of the court. Right. It's just like, to me personally, it's like I don't see why coaches don't see this type of stuff. It's like the dude has all these offensive jewels that he can give you, and you don't set it up for him. It's just like it's so much stuff that you can do with him. It's not like you just gonna sit him there on the block. Right. It's not like the only thing he can do is run down the court and drive. He can do all of that stuff. So it's like, how is it you can't put together a team to complement so many gifts he can give you? So, man, it's just like, I don't know. It's this stuff is frustrating. And like,
I feel your fucking pain on that shit, dude. I see it like in your face, like it's fucking frustrating, man. I'm like, bro, I fucking said that I don't even know how many times, like over the last 10, 15 years and shit like that.
And it's like all those examples you just gave, those couple examples that you gave where he came close, like Chauncey Billups on his way out the door. It's like, come on,
yeah.
Jason Kidd, it's both of them the very next year retired. It's just like if they were a few years younger, then it ain't even got to be a veteran point guard, but it just got to be a point guard that somebody like Chris Paul, which he's at, right. knocking on the door as well.
A point guard he respects, and like can I think a point guard that can command him. Like, it's not even, like, obviously he has to, I think he respects all of the players he played with and shit like that, except maybe, like, Jose Calderon or whatever. But I feel like, just somebody who can command an offense, bro, and just be like, yo, like, this is the play we're running, or this time, like, everyone get the fuck out of the way. It's, like, Melo's turn and shit like that, so.
Right. Somebody to come to set everybody up.
Right.
And Russell Westbrook was what set nobody up when he was in New York, outside of Kidd and Chauncey, who was setting anything up? Nobody. They never had a point guard like that, and it's just like, and
I think maybe Felton.
Who?
Felton?
Yeah, if he could have gotten shape.
Yo, the one thing I did like about Felton was when Melo was on the Thunder 2 seasons ago, whatever. Felton was on the team too, and I remember like whenever Felton was in the game with Melo, he would always make it a priority to, like, get Melo the ball. Like, he would always make sure, he'd be like, no, like, I know what this dude can do with the fucking ball, like, get out of the way, and he would always feed Melo.
Exactly, because it's just like, because no one can guard him one-on-one. He's going to draw the defense in, and he's going to get y'all open shots. It's just going to be for y'all to hit him. And I know I've seen plenty of games where in New York where he was frustrated, where he would draw everybody in. He'd pass it out to somebody and they wouldn't hit. Who was that? I think they was playing against, I think it was Miami. He brought everybody in. He made a simple pass down to the post, and whoever this guy was, he missed the layup. I can't remember who he was.
Are you talking about in the playoffs?
Yeah, they was in the playoffs.
Are you talking about versus the Celtics with Jared Jeffries?
Yeah, that's who it was. Jerry Jefferson.
Yo, you remember that shit?
Yeah, he drew in the whole team. It's
Yo,
just like that.
they had 15 players on him. Like they had some fans on the court defending him and shit like that, and he still kicked it out to Jeffries, and I think Jeffries like lost the ball or he missed the layup or he did something.
It was just he just missed the layup. He couldn't handle the pass and missed the layup. It's like, come on, it's 4 people on Melo.
Bro, and that was like versus the number 2 seeded Celtics. Melo, I think, dropped like 40. I think he had like 42 points that night. Amari was out. Billups was out. He fucking
Yeah,
literally carried that team on his back. And then at the end, Jeffries couldn't either catch or finish. It was one or the other.
yeah, he couldn't finish. I think he fumbled the catch and then couldn't finish or whatever.
Maybe.
It was like, I mean, you put, and it's been like that a lot for Melo. And it's like you put in all this hard work and stuff. When you're supposed to trust your teammates, and then
Right?
it's like you look around at the people who you gotta trust. It's like I'm sorry. It's just like which is he had a. I mean, it was an awkward relationship between him and Jr. And I think
Yeah.
it just came to the point where like, shoot, at least I know he gonna shoot. It may be a crazy shot, but I feel like I could trust him a lot more than a lot of these other ones
Right.
out here.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's man, it's right now like which is why I think that Golden State will be a good spot or whatnot because I mean the whole team knows how to move the ball,
Right.
period, or whatnot. And I just think that like that motion of it all, they can sit there and try to watch Carmelo all they want. That boxing one that they ended up running on them because they couldn't find nobody else to score. Try to do a boxing one with Melo there with Steph Curry. I want to see how that works.
Facts. One thing I wanted to ask you, I feel like there's certain moments in Melo's career specifically where you just remember exactly where you were when something happened or when something was happening. So where were you when Melo dropped 62 on the Charlotte Hornets? What were you doing? Were you watching it? What was your reaction to it? Just like tell us like what was going through your head and what was going through your life when that was going down.
Oh man, I can't even pinpoint where I was exactly. Pretty sure I was at home or whatever. But it was just the type of thing. It was the type of thing whatnot where like it was really just kind of expected or whatnot. And it was just like, I mean, I was just looking at it as like, man, if they, if he had if he had the tools around him, whatnot, he could be doing this a lot more often.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing or whatnot where it's like I don't feel like he arrived. I feel like he, put his stamp on, at least New York basketball or whatnot. And it was I know it had to be like a proud moment for him or whatnot. Because like I said, he broke Bernard King's record or whatnot.
Right.
One of the main people that people compare him to, his own idol and stuff and everything. And it was like it was another proud moment that I had seen from or whatnot, maybe. But it's don't compare to him finally being in a position to get over that hump and compete at the highest level. So, but it most definitely showed that like a piece of what he's really about and what he really can do.
Yeah.
And he did that within basically 3 quarters.
Yeah, it was like 3.5 because they were up by like fucking 40 in the fourth
Right.
quarter against the Bobcats. But yeah, but
And
I remember that was
I
that was
also thought they should have let it keep going and whatnot. It's like, I mean, come on, they kept Kobe in the game.
yeah.
Let them strive for it.
Right.
I think yeah.
Yeah, I remember that shit was that was a Friday night. I remember it was in like January or February. I'm pretty sure it was in January. And I remember that Knicks season was like kind of on the rocks. I'm pretty sure that was the season right after they won 54 games and shit like that. So I remember there was still like hope and everything, or that might have been the year after. I'm not sure. But anyway, their season was like on the ropes. They like need to start winning and shit like that. And I remember I was up at school. I was dormant away at college, and all my roommates went out, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna stick in and just watch the Knicks game. Like they're playing the Bobcats, probably not gonna be that great of a game, but just like whatever. Bro, first quarter, I think he dropped 20 something, and like it kept going. It kept at halftime, he had like 35 or some shit like that. I was like, bro, yo, this shit's crazy. I was drinking Jaeger, in my in my dorm room by myself, bro. Like I had nobody to like cheer with. I was like, yo, let's fucking go. Like I was looking around, like I'm by myself, and I'm like, all right, still fucking sick. So yeah, bro, I don't know. I just feel like that was one of those moments where I was just like you remember like the Easter game and shit. Like there's like a few moments where like it's significant and you just will remember that shit for the rest of your life. But yeah,
it's one of those special mellow moments where you see him in all his glory career. Like when you see him scoring in every single way, you see him do what he's meant to do, put up buckets.
Yeah,
and it's just like I mean, me personally, I just enjoy watching this dude play ball. You got a lot of people out here that's probably winning and stuff, whatever, whatnot, but it's they don't do it. Melo do it in style. That's one thing I can say about him. He does it in style. He makes it look so effortlessly and easy, and it just looks like all purists still love his game because it's just he embodies, at least on offense, he embodies everything that you look for. He scored at every freaking level, and don't have to be super athletic to do it. It's like he's the absolute definition of a hooper. He is a hooper. You put him up there. It's only a few of them like that. Jamal Crawford, hooper. You put them up there, and they just, it ain't all about teaming up with the best. It's like it's just you put them out there, they finish. They gonna put it in your ass. That's what I love about them.
All right. Another question for you. It's another like little game. Mm-hmm. If you had to start one of these players, bench one of these players, and cut one of these players. Mm-hmm. So one, you get to start straight up. One, you get to bring in off the bench. And one, you just have to say bye to. Which one would it be? They're all versions of Melo. So one, Nuggets Melo. One, Knicks Melo. And one, Olympic Melo. Start, bench, cut.
Ooh.
I know it's tough because like they're all mad good and shit like that, but I didn't want to put the Rockets because...
Yeah, because he would.
Because he would, yeah.
He would be. I'm sorry, he'd be cut because he didn't have a chance. But
yeah.
Oh man, start, bitch. Oh man. Dude, that's a Yeah, I would probably start. Yeah. The reason I would start Denver Melo is because that's when he was at his fruitfulness or whatnot. He was just getting started. He was his most energetic. He brought the most exciting when he was just getting to the league and everything. And He was really getting to his groove of it. The reason I would start Nick Melo is because he was just a vet then, and he just knew how to command everything, and he was just really into himself, and he knew how to he just knew how to close games and everything. He knew how to carry a team at that point. Right. Olympic Melo, he was Olympic Melo because he was in a position to really show out. He didn't have to carry the team, and he was still at a ripe age and everything, where he was still able to be athletic. He was like, he basically around the time then when they went to the conference final or whatnot. And so that was the reason why I would start each of them.
No, we need you to bench one and cut one too, bro. Come on, can't be cheating the game like that.
Man, I don't know. It was I don't know because Olympic Melo needed all those other stars to be Olympic Melo. New York Melo. I mean, I'd probably go. I start New York Melo. I'd bench Denver Melo, and I would cut Olympic Melo, and just for those reasons, Olympic Melo had all that extra help, and depending on what team that he was on, who knows how he would play. I know what New York Melo would do because he was thrown in all this scrutiny and stuff, whatever, whatnot. And I need that type of Melo out there to be able to handle everything that's coming his way.
Right.
And I would bring on Denver Melo off the bench because, we would be grooming him to beat New York.
Bro, imagine like the Nuggets Melo coming in as 6th man or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have the same answers. I would start New York Melo just because I feel like that was like the most complete Melo.
Yeah.
I feel like all different ways. It's not like he just relied on his athleticism. He could drive past you. He could pull up from fucking 35. He was pretty good defensively, whether people want to say it. He's not like never all defense or anything like that, but he held his own on that end.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah, I feel like that was the best version of him. Nuggets, Melo, I just think him coming off the bench and just being mad aggressive and doing shit like that would be fucking scary for other teams. And then I cut Olympic Melo. Not that there's anything wrong. That was a good point what you said. He was on a team with all his superstars, so you kind of have to replicate that. But yeah, same answers. So we're now nearing the end. One thing we want to ask everyone, or want to give people opportunity to do when they come on, is to control the narrative about whatever it is you want, whether it's Melo, whether it's a team, whether it's a situation, whether it's a type of food that you like that a lot of people hate or whatever. What is something that you want to control the narrative about right now?
I've been thinking about this all day, and I really never even came up with an answer. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head right now, and just even with the conversation that we having right now,
Yeah.
and just kind of changing the narrative of how we view players, period, or whatnot. It's just like we just kind of go up, like people don't really look back and realize that like we champion a lot of these players and stuff, whatnot, because of the championships and everything that they've done. Not looking at the total reason why they were able to do so or whatnot, and then
Right.
we try to leave other great stars off or whatever. Like they contributed just as much or whatnot, they just weren't given as much, and and start putting some of the ownership on these front offices and stuff, whatever. Like it's not Reggie Miller's fault that he never won a championship. It's not Charles Barkley's fault. They gave you as much as they could. It wasn't T-Mac's fault. I love watching T-Mac. He put on magnificent performances, but you look at how it was when he was in Orlando, and then when he finally got to Houston and stuff, he never had any reliable help. Yao Ming was always hurt. Grant Hill was almost always there.
Yeah.
You had promising help that you thought would have been there, but it never, turned to true. It never turned out the way that they wanted it to, or whatever. And it's like you come back and you look at it, and people want to act like T-Mac wasn't going at Kobe Bryant neck.
Yeah.
They want to act like Charles Barkley wasn't, looked at as one of the greatest players in the league at that time. It's like you almost forget about Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
They act like, I know New Yorkers are always going to remember Reggie Miller.
Unfortunately.
Not to rub it in your face, but people need to look at like how bad Reggie Miller was, and he was nowhere near the athleticism in any of them players.
Yeah.
This was a twig out there, killing them. And so I would, just change the narrative on how we just look at players. Like really just look at their body of work and what they was able to do and what they had to even overcome. Because a lot of them never really had a chance because of the market that they in. And I think that's why New York gets a bad rap all the time. Because it's like you look at it like you're in this big market, and people don't understand. Like, well, why didn't it get done? LA's getting it done. Miami getting it. Well, Miami just started getting it done, and it took the players to make that happen. It's only really been two teams that were able to continuously do it like that. We probably got a third one in San Antonio because and that's mainly because of the coaching and stuff. Because of their front office. So,
Right.
We need to start showing these players even more respect and stuff, whatever, as far as what they were able to do and what they are doing and stuff, whatever.
Right.
And, quit trying to, erase them from history like they weren't putting on shows. I feel like once Vince Carter get out the league and stuff, whatever, like people will kind of forget about him. Like I don't know much about George Gervin or whatnot. Is that he did the finger up? Go back and you look at some of these old tapes and stuff and whatnot. It sounded like he was the man. They comparing him to Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Like, well, if he was like Tracy McGrady, he was busting ass back then.
Yeah.
So, but in a few years' time, in the next 10 years, people ain't gonna know much about Tracy McGrady. Like the way that I don't know much about George Gervin, they gonna look at Tracy McGrady the same way. But we all look at Wilt Chamberlain and and uh Bill Russell. It's like, how do we not know George Gervin is with? So let's just give these players the respect they deserve, even if they don't win championships. They out here putting in work. We need to give them their props for that.
All right, Reggie. Thanks for coming on, bro. A lot of like really interesting points and shit like that, and appreciate you being a fellow diehard fucking Melo fan like me, repping the high school jersey, and a lot of us out here who've been sticking up for him and all that shit. So, Twitter, your Twitter is at ClayBoi4.
Yeah, Clayboy1.
Clayboy1, my fault. Clayboy1. Hit him up on Twitter. You're always a good follow. Always interacting and shit like that. Appreciate you coming on again, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. I love the platform that you setting up. Like I said, I think you can do a lot with it. Even outside of Melo, let's get through this season right now as far as like what's gonna happen with Melo, and then just look to take it other places. And I'm trying to be a Knicks fan. Y'all looking pretty good this year. Let's just hope this new front office can do more, and I may be coming back.
Word. All right, we'll definitely stay tuned for that. Yo.
All right.
But we appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, later.